The groan of stressed metal was a constant song. Xander pressed his hand against the vibrating bulkhead, the cold seeping through his suit's glove. Rivulets of liquid silver, like teardrops, traced paths down the wall, converging in a shimmering pool on the deck plates. They moved with a slow, unnatural purpose, consuming the very circuits beneath the floor. "How long?" Elizabeth's voice was tight in his ear, strained through the suit's comm. "The inner door to the escape pods is 500 meters away. We can make it," Xander said. His own heart monitor, displayed on his helmet's heads-up display, showed a fast, unsteady rhythm. "It's not the distance," she replied, her breath catching. "It's the noise. In my head, static. And the walls, they look like they're breathing, Xander." He gripped his pulse rifle tighter, his knuckles white inside the glove. "That's the attack, Elizabeth. It's a ghost signal. It's trying to break our focus. Ignore it. Focus on my voice." "Yes." "Easy for you to say," she mumbled. A section of the ceiling ahead of them hissed, and a fresh stream of mercury rained down, splattering silently on the deck. The drops didn't bounce, they spread out, joining together into a creeping, metallic tide that flowed towards them. "Move! Now!" Xander grabbed her arm, pulling her into a side corridor. The emergency lights flickered, casting long, dancing shadows. Every shadow seemed to hold a threat. They ran. The only sounds were their heavy breathing and the clang of their magnetic boots on the metal floor. The station, Hermes' outpost, was a tomb. The attack had been precise, silent. No explosions, just the slow, cold death delivered by the Mercury. It was a weapon that killed infrastructure first, then people. "Wait!" Elizabeth gasped, pulling away from him. She leaned against a wall, her helmet looking towards an empty corner. "There's someone there. I see a heat signature." Xander scanned the corner. His own display showed nothing. "Yes, flat, cold, empty. There's no one there, Elizabeth. Your biochip is compromised. The sensor feed is corrupted." "No, I see him. He's..." She trailed off, her body going rigid. "He's not wearing a suit." The eerie detail sent a chill down Xander's spine. The ghost signal was getting stronger, more creative. He reached into a sealed pouch on his belt and his fingers brushed against the cool, smooth plastic of a keycard. The null state keycard. A tool of last resort. A hard reset for the human mind, designed to wipe a biochip clean of any intrusion. He had never seen unused. The instructors at the military academy spoke of it with fear. They said the process was like drowning your own mind in an ocean of static. "Elizabeth, look at me," he said, moving to stand directly in front of her. "I have the keycard. I can use it. It will purge the signal from your biochip." She recoiled, shaking her head violently. "No, the reset. They say it can take your memories. It can change you." "Yes, it's better than letting that thing in your head take control," he argued, his voice rising. "It's already making you see things. Soon you won't be able to tell what's real." The mercury was flowing into their corridor now, a silent silver river. It was only 100 meters away, and it was getting faster. "I can manage," she said, her voice lacking conviction. "Let's just get to the pods." Xander didn't have time to argue. He nodded, and they pushed forward. The final stretch to the escape pod bay was a wide open maintenance hub. In the center stood the blast door, thick and imposing. A red light glowed above it. "Locked." "The controls are fried," Elizabeth said, her voice flat. She pointed to the wall panel, which was dark and covered in a thin film of the creeping mercury. "The ghost signal has taken over the station's network. We can't open it." "Our biochip should be able to send a wireless override command," Xander said, trying to interface with the door's system. "Yes." A burst of static screamed in his mind. His vision swam with nonsensical code. He pulled back, gritting his teeth. "It won't let us in," Elizabeth whispered. She was staring at the blast door, but her eyes were unfocused. "It's talking to me. It says it wants to help us. It says we just need to... let go." Xander watched in horror as she raised a hand and began to unlatch her helmet. "Elizabeth, no!" He lunged, grabbing her hands just as the seal was about to break. She fought him with surprising strength, her face a mask of confusion. "It's okay," she murmured. "It's so quiet in there." The silver tide was entering the hub from 3 corridors now, a closing trap. They had maybe 2 minutes before it reached them. He knew then that there was no other choice, but using the keycard on her now would leave her unconscious and helpless. He could never carry her and operate the door controls in time. His own biochip was still mostly functional. Yes, he was getting static, but he could still think. A clean chip, a chip without the ghost signal. A clean chip could issue the simple, uncorrupted command to open the door. He looked from the Mercury to Elizabeth's vacant eyes, and then to the keycard in his hand. There was only one path forward. "Elizabeth, I need you to do something for me," he said, his voice calm and steady. He held her arms firmly. "When this door opens, you run for pod 3. Don't wait for me. Just go. Do you understand?" She blinked slowly, a flicker of her old self returning. "Xander, what are you doing?" He didn't answer. He pulled her behind him, positioning himself between her and the door. He held the null state keycard and located the small recessed port just behind his ear, built into the base of his skull. "Don't use it, Xander! Please!" she cried. "Understand his plan." He took a deep breath. "Get ready to run!" He pressed the keycard into the port. There was a soft click. Yes, the universe dissolved into white noise. It was not a sound, but a feeling. A total loss of self. His memories, his name, his sense of being were pulled apart like thread from a spool. He was nothing. A blank space in the cosmos. There was a brief, terrifying sensation of falling, and then absolute silence. Consciousness returned like a light switched on in a dark room. He was on his knees. The blast door in front of him was sliding open with a heavy groan. The air tasted clean. "Xander." Elizabeth was pulling at his arm, her face filled with a mix of terror and relief. "It worked. The door is open. We have to go." He felt numb, hollow. He let her pull him to his feet. His movements were clumsy, his thoughts fragmented. Who was Xander? The name felt like a borrowed coat. He followed her through the door and down the final corridor to the escape pods. "We made it," she breathed, pushing him into one of the pods and strapping him into a seat. "It's over. We're safe." "Yes." She looked at him, her eyes searching his for any sign of recognition. He could only offer a blank stare in return. She finished securing his straps and moved to the pilot's seat. He glanced down at the small status display on his suit's wrist gauntlet. The screen was bright green. It read, "Biochip purge complete. System nominal." He felt a wave of relief, though he wasn't sure why. Then, a new line of text appeared below. "Sub-protocol are active." He frowned, not understand. He looked up at Elizabeth as she initiated the launch sequence. She gave him a weak, hopeful smile. A new thought surfaced in his mind. It was perfectly clear and calm, and it did not feel like his own. "My name is not Xander." The pod launched, pushing him back into his seat. He watched the dying station disappear through the viewport. Elizabeth thought she had saved him. She was wrong. She had only opened the door for what was hunting them. Yes,